Sure.
For the equipment. I maybe even, let's see, like trying to think of what exactly he would expect Nolen to do, and maybe shift things around. I mean, he'd maybe play. I was thinking Hero of Bladehold, but that might not be so great with a deck that has probably 4 Vapor Snags, which of course Nolen's does have 4 Vapor Snags, and 4 Snapcaster Mages. So Hero may not be the best option. Oh yeah, Surgical Extraction seems like a pretty good choice there.
Seems very saucy.
Right, especially with Nolen playing the Thought Scours to dump things in the graveyard. And just give you Surgical Extraction targets. But he's got an O-Ring. He's got a lot of like kind of one ofs, 2 ofs in his board.
Yeah, it seems like I don't know. When I make sideboards, usually I just have a couple cards where I'm like, I want 4 of these and 4 of these and 3 of these.
Yeah.
I mean, is that how do you?
I guess I do it differently depending on what I feel like, what deck I'm playing, and what I think I'm weak to, and sometimes it's just a situation of like of upgrades where I go, okay, well, I want Flash Freeze because I'm playing against a mono green deck, and I can not play Mana Leak or something. Like maybe I just upgrade my Mana Leaks into Flash Freezes. Something like that. Or if I feel like I want a lot of counter spells against this deck, I'm going to bring in Flash Freezes and keep the Mana Leaks and take out something else. So it's, but a lot of times I do a lot of kind of.
Devin McBride, please report to the stage.
I like to have kind of cards that do similar things, but in different ways. Or like maybe some different cards. Like maybe I have a couple of Flash Freezes, a couple of Negates or something.
Right.
Rather than 4 Flash Freeze.
Right.
Even though they're counter spells, but they're gonna kind of fill different roles.
So Nolen has a grip of, I saw a Geist of St. Traft, 2 of them as a matter of fact. Spellbomb Memnite for Belfatto, Loren Thought Scours for Snapcaster, and oh, he did bring in the Ratchet Bomb.
Yeah,
To the main event stage, please. Coy Pendleton, please report to the main event stage.
Draws Delver of Secrets.
Now, I think Tempered Steel has a pretty good matchup against Delver in general.
Right.
So it may not be that much that Nolen can do other than just try to do what his deck does and just clear the way for Delver.
I mean, it does seem like a Geist of St. Traft resolving here is going to be a problem for Michael Belfatto.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, okay, there's Shrine of Loyalty.
Okay, that was something I was wondering if he'd bring those in. It looks like he may have brought in, he has 3 in the sideboard, he may have brought them all in.
I like that card in this deck so much. It just seems dumb. Nolen hits his Delver flip, so he's got a big old bug on the board and cracks in for 3.
Blue Nicodle.
And he's going to stick, looks like he's going to stick Geist of St. Traft. Unless he just wants to hold up for Mana Leak, I guess, maybe. No, he's just going to run it out. Geist,
yeah, put on the pressure.
To which Michael Belfatto is hopefully going to remember his Shrine trigger, which he does. And so Belfatto has Origin Spellbomb, Memnite, Shrine.
Tempered Steel here would be exactly what he would want, I would think.
And he's got them? Yep.
He looks like there it is. Tempered Steel.
There it is. Yep.
All right, and
ouch.
Memnite looks to be getting in.
Right.
Shrine ticks up, that's right.
So this is going to be kind of interesting. Michael Belfatto attacks Nolen Loren down to...
what, 16?
16. Or...
Right.
Yeah, 16. But Nolen, at this point, is free to crack back for 9.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised that he swung in with the Memnite. I thought he'd want to leave something back to block the Geist just to get it off the table.
Yeah.
But Michael is happy to have landed a Tempered Steel.
Yep. So
and decides to take advantage of it right away.
Seems pretty reasonable. Passes back to Michael Belfatto, who ticks up his Shrine of Loyal Legions. So Michael also has the Gavany Township and Signal Pest.
Yeah, Signal Pest added to the board there.
Seems like a perfectly fine card right now. Just more guys to gum up the board and make Geist of St. Traft a less appealing proposition for Nolen Loren.
If I'm Nolen, though, I just keep swinging him with the Geist anyway.
Yeah, no question.
Because he's got a second one to back it up.
Yep.
And, all right, we have Dispatch for the Delver.
Yep, that's going to be kind of annoying, but Nolen does have the Moorland Haunt, so he's able to start cranking out the tiny dudes.
It's kind of like Delver just shrunk instead of got dispatched. Shrunk into a spirit.
Kenta Hiroki to the main event stage, please. Kenta Hiroki to the main event stage, please.
All right, so...
All right, Shrine ticking up here.
Yep. Man, that's going to get real ugly real quick.
Yeah, he's got enough to activate it, you know, when he's not tapped down, but he's got enough mana to activate it when he's ready, and that's just 1/1s that are affected by Tempered Steel, you know, becoming 3/3s. That's a lot of power to add to the board.
Yeah, I mean, people used to get excited about Call of the Wilds, or Call of the Herd. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, with the 3/3,
like a 3/3, and then
flash it back for another
3/3 next turn. This was just like, here, have all the 3/3s.
Yeah,
all of them.
All right, so Geist getting in again into the red zone. Now he's getting blocked, and Spirit
even,
and an Angel.
Not even profitably. Like, I mean, so Nolan's going to vapor snag something here. Presumably the Memnite, I guess. Or, no, probably the Signal Pest.
Yeah, if he... I think the Signal Pest, because either one... No, he goes with the Memnite, okay. So, Michael loses one.
Yep. So Michael's going to go to 7. He's got... Oh! And
did he have double Vapor Snag? Was that one?
No, he had Dismember.
Oh, Dismember, okay.
Yep.
Didn't quite catch that. We just got a note that Michael received a warning for missing a Shrine trigger.
Yep. Dispatch on the Angel token is actually going to get mana leaked by Nolen Loren. So Michael Belfatto is actually now...
Attention players registered for $10.
He should be down to... yeah, exactly. He should be down to 2.
So...
Looking pretty rough. Nolen able to kind of take advantage of things here, despite Michael actually resolving a Tempered Steel and having multiple guys on board. But this is still scary here, because he's got 6 counters on that Shrine right now. He's got 6 counters on it. It went up to 5 last turn from him trying to cast that Dispatch, and then, from him casting the Dispatch. Right. And then 1 for the turn, so that's 6 3/3s.
So Linhawk Idol is going to buy Michael Belfatto a turn, but that turns...
Alright, there's an Angel,
and
as soon as it becomes a creature, I think we saw... Well, I didn't see what it was, but it must have been an answer for the Linhawk Idol.
It looked like maybe a Divine Offering?
Could have been a Divine... I think it was a white card, so it could have been Divine Offering, yeah. And so going to game 3.
Going to game 3, we have 18 minutes and 39 seconds left on the clock here.
They did a pretty good job there. It was, I mean, it was 30 minutes left and they were still in game 1, right? And now they managed to sideboard pretty quickly and get that game over with in 10 minutes. So
yeah.
Nolen looking a lot happier that his deck actually did what it's supposed to do, which is win. But secondarily, actually play Delver and creature, Geist, and actually play creatures and attack. It's an aggro deck, it's an aggro control deck, and he didn't see any of the aggro game 1.
Sure saw a lot of the control though.
He did see a lot of the control, but it wasn't enough. He doesn't have enough of a late game to capitalize on stalling, right? Like the control decks play all those cards so that they can get to the late game and go Sun Titan or Grave Titan or Elish Norn, like any of these big spells. Cruel Ultimatum a couple years ago, right? Like as we saw earlier today, Adam Prosac with Sorin's Vengeance. Well, he went Sorin, knock you to 10, Sorin's Vengeance the next turn. That was pretty sick. His opponent was at 25 at the time. So he was at 25 and he goes, play Sorin, knock you to 10, and then the next turn, hit him for 10 with Sorin's Vengeance. No, and I mean old Sorens,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So, oh, you're at 25? I'd like you to meet my vampire friend here.
Right.
I think he's going to stick a big-ass sword through your chest, pardon my language.
For 15 first, right? And then
15 you, 10 you,
10 you, yeah.
GG?
That was pretty awesome. So just an update, because I talked to Adam a little while ago. He went 1-2 and dropped. That was his win. And it was pretty spectacular, but that was all the glory he was getting out of today's today's event.
But that's a story you run out for years.
That's nice. But yeah, so, you know, control decks are meant to have all that interaction so they can get to the late game and stick a giant bomb or, you know, a lock or some sort of situation like that. But Nolen was stalling for what? Delvers? You know, like he stalled for a 1-drop until he drew his 1-drop that he should have had, you know, on turn 1 or 2, hopefully. So it was like just not enough. He couldn't capitalize, even stalling. Which, you know, the more I think about it, the more I wonder what you were wondering was why was he holding on for so long? Because what exactly could have gotten him into that game, gotten him back into that game? Maybe he did think a sword would do it. Maybe a Rune Chanter's Pike. Maybe he thought he could manage to survive, you know, get something, stick in equipment, and survive just long enough for those to get the game back within reach.
Sure.
You know, either way,
people
they've
also
got
don't like
16 minutes left. That's true too. Yeah. Sometimes you just want to see what you can do. And I admit that's definitely fun where you're like really up, you know, against the wall and you're like, can I get out of this? And then those times when you do, those are the best games. You're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I, you know, won the game on 1 life. I was on 1 life for 10 turns and, you know, then won the game. Something like that.
I was stubborn when I would play. I would, you know, 14 years old, I got a white weenie deck. My opponent's like, Nether Void you, Gloom you, blow up all your lands. Would you like to concede? No.
Nope.
Nope, we're going to play. And, you know, 2 hours later, I've lost and... But no, I mean,
I know what you mean.
We're at 15 minutes remaining. Michael Belfatto is going to be on the play here, presumably.
And Gavany Township with a Signal Pest and a Memnite.
All right.
So good start for Belfatto.
That's healthy. It's going to be 2 points. Nolen's going to hit the turn 1 Delver. I'm sure he's happy to see that.
And both decks looking like they're doing exactly what they want to do on turn 1.
Which is really, I think, what you want to see in a match.
Exactly.
You don't want players drawing blanks,
flooding out or
anything
like that, right?
Drawing 60% of the land in their deck. You want this kind of interaction. This is going to be a good game.
You want strength against strength. You want, you know what I mean? You want the decks to show their muscle and which one comes out on top when both decks and both players are getting what they need.
Yep. So Nolen Lorne untaps for his turn 2. He's got Moorland Haunt. Looks like his grip. There's definitely Mana Leak.
Yeah.
Looks like maybe a Divine Offering in there.
Ratchet Bomb.
Sure.
2 Ratchet Bombs, I think.
Oh.
Ratchet Bomb, Mana Leak, Divine Offering, is that?
Yeah, I think a
Snapcaster and something else. Possibly not a land.
Yeah, I mean, and there's Ratchet Bomb. What do you want to bomb here at this point, Joey?
Yeah, that's a good question. This is the situation I meant. Like he's got a 0, a 1, and a 2.
Right.
So what do you want to bomb?
Yeah.
Right now, the Signal Pest is doing no damage on its own, but it's pumping the Memnite. So, you know, wow, is it triple Gavany Township from Belfatto? That's not the kind of land, land draw that you want.
That's greedy.
Yeah.
That's real greedy.
Yeah, you wonder if he kept a hand with like 2 and just drew the 3rd, because keeping a hand with 3, I mean, if any deck though can do it, it's the deck that plays so many artifacts. So there's a Glinthawk Idol.
Yep. Now here's a bit of a challenge. Michael Belfatto got a warning last game for missing a trigger on his Shrine of Loyal Legions. Assuming that he's gotten no other infractions this tournament, if he misses it again, it'll be a second warning. But if he misses it a 3rd time, it's upgraded to game loss.
Right.
So if I'm Michael Belfatto here, I know that we don't have a lot of time left. We're in game 3. We're fairly deep in the tournament. I've got a lot of things I have to think about, and I don't want to miss my Shrine triggers.
Yeah.
But he's putting dice on top of his deck, so
So yeah, that's definitely
That
good way to do it.
helps.
Yeah.
That definitely
And he's not
helps him.
casting white spells, at least not until he plays something that can produce white mana.
Yeah.
So he's safe there.
Sure.
If he gets all his upkeep triggers and doesn't cast a white spell, he's all right.
So Michael Belfatto's going to crack in with Pest Memnite.
Yeah, and meanwhile, just to mention, Nolen did pump up the Ratchet Bomb ratcheted up to 1 counter. I think at this point, what's appealing is killing the Shrine and the Glinthawk idol.
Which seems fine.
Yeah, exactly. What's going to happen though? Michael wisely leaves up 3 mana, so if Nolen does decide to try to kill the Shrine, Michael gets 2 guys out of it.
Sure.
But he doesn't know that Nolen has a second Ratchet Bomb in play, or in his hand, I mean, which he can use to clean up the mess.
Yeah, he could basically go bomb you for 2,
bomb you, and Michael responds, gets some guys.
Nolen rebuys on Ratchet Bomb for 0,
and
gets
Memnite and the 2 guys.
Yeah, so all of a sudden, Michael Belfatto's board is Signal Pest?
Yes, exactly, which does nothing by itself, right?
Exactly.
I mean, it can be blocked though.
Right.
If he hits a Tempered Steel, that's great, but he needs to also not only hit Tempered Steel, he needs 2 white mana. All right, so he's doing exactly what we thought. Ratchet Bomb, clean up the mess. His board is Signal Pest, Triple Gavany Township versus Delver, which has not yet flipped, by the way.
Right.
Delver just doing 1 a turn.
Yep.
So Michael's catching a break there.
We do know that Nolen Lord has a mana leak in his hand. He's definitely representing it with the mana that he has up. 4.
Yeah, Michael
colorless
can
producing lands from Michael Belfatto.
He can cast a Masticore. Not a Tempered Steel.
I mean, you can cast Masticore.
I just tried to think of the
legal.
most iconic 4-drop I could think of.
Grid Monitor.
I like Masticore. All right, so that was
kidding.
a Volt Scourge
that was a
almost
Volt
hit the
Scourge.
table. Yeah, there's a Volt Scourge. Take
Michael
2.
Belfatto goes to 16.
Yeah. So that's a nice little Delver defender there.
Sure.
Once again, standard wood box.
Still not flipping on that.
We're going to get you started.
that Elder
Standard wood box.
Yeah, it's odd. We talked about how both players started off with like a great turn 1, and since then, both players. Now Michael's kind of really hit kind of a bad run of cards, or at least the land drops. Nolen's been able to do kind of a lot to slow Michael down, but he's not flipping his Delver, and that's kind of the point of the Delver deck. He doesn't even seem to have anything that's going to help him flip it. We haven't seen him cast like a Ponder or anything.
Right. Now,
Attention players,
it does seem kind of interesting when you look at Michael Belfatto's board. You know, you had hypothesized earlier, Joey, that he had probably kept a double township hand, which, considering what he's played, you know, he had the Memnite, he had the Signal Pest, he had the Shrine, and the Glinthawk idol. Right. It's not entirely unreasonable. It's not great. But you could argue that it's defensible.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I understand the idea. Oh my gosh, Inkmoth Nexus. Now, Inkmoth Nexus actually may start to be relevant because he's got those Signal Pests. Yeah, and that's what's going to happen here.
And then we're all in on the poison plan.
So he can switch plans here and hopefully capitalize on that and let it carry him. Meanwhile, I just want to know what Nolen has, because he apparently isn't seeing any instants or sorceries.
Right.
Is Nolen just flooded? I mean, he has mana leak. He's just had it early. But all right, Delver, and look.
One-time dealer. Oh,
no,
not even close.
I mean, there's no reason for him to slow roll it and go, yeah, this is an instant. This would flip the Delver, but I'm not going to show you just so you think that I don't have something. I don't really like. That's a cool play and everything, but I think you'd rather have the 3/2 flyer.
Yeah, I mean, there is the cool play, but then there's also the play that just wins.
Right, exactly.
And when those two are the same thing, great. But if not, just win, man.
I think he has Dungeon Geists.
You would love that, wouldn't you?
I would love that, yeah.
So Nolen attacks with Delver of Secrets?
Yeah. I mean,
sure.
He's kind of offering up a potential trade with the Inkmoth Nexus. Yeah.
And Michael's just not going to see it. Or not.
He just didn't want to do it, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if Michael wants that anyway, because maybe Well.
Wow.
At this point, I activate both Ink Moths and swing in with the Signal Pests and the Ink Moths. This is okay. That's what he does. And all right, we have something going on here.
Yep.
Do we have pre-combat
revoke existence?
Revoke existence on the
divine offering.
Right.
Revoke.
Right. Revoke's not the. Revoke is the one that.
That's still 4 poison in the air for Michael Belfatto, and Nolen Loren is now going to be. Wow, Joe, he's actually dead on board next turn
because of the Ink Moth nexuses.
Because of the Ink Moth nexuses, and not Nexi, as was pointed out to me.
Yeah,
some time
ago. That's been discussed a couple times on.
Sorry, y'all, I was wrong.
Yeah.
It's Nexuses, even though that sounds really bad coming out of my mouth. So,
6 minutes left in the round. Looks like it's going to end here.
Yeah, I mean, gosh. Nolen Loren he didn't flip.
He never flipped that Delver. What turn is it? You know what I mean? Like, he's got 6 lands in play.
Right. So he's.
I don't think he's missed a land drop.
No. So
he's had a lot of turns to flip that Delver and just
five
happening.
turns with no Delver. He's running. Got to be maybe 70 instants in his deck. Something like that. 80. So.
Yeah. I mean, now you see why he was trying to offer the trade with the Ink Moth Nexus, but Michael wisely didn't notice the option to block, or wisely decided, no, these Ink Moth Nexuses are my path to victory here, because I'm not seeing any colored mana. And he had the Signal Pests, so that really makes it even more appealing to stick with the Ink Moth Nexuses.
Well, when you think about lines of play with a Tempered Steel deck, you know, you think about the ridiculous, like, bunch of Memnites and a Tempered Steel get in, you know, or maybe you grind out with Etched Champion. You don't think, you know what? I'm going to use Signal Path and Ink Moth Nexus to infect my opponent out of the game.
Exactly.
But that's probably what's going to happen here.
So Dungeon Geists, he did have indeed Dungeon Geists.
Oh my gosh, it's colored mana from Michael Belfatto.
Whoa.
Stop the presses.
Yeah, now he's actually going to get to play Magic. Signal Pest tapped down by the Dungeon Geist.
Is it enough?
Well, he can get in for 2 poison.
Can he stabilize? Does he have a reasonable expectation of stability here?
Well, he passes back. And
so
Delver flips finally. Uh-oh.
There it is.
Are the tides turning? Was that Dungeon Geist what Nolen needed to just stay alive just at the last possible moment?
I mean,
because Signal Pest being untapped would have killed him, right?
Yeah.
He would have taken 4 poison.
Yeah.
So now Delver takes to the skies. Dungeon Geists, you know, alongside a Dungeon Geist holding that Signal Pest down. Michael did not attack with the Ink Moth Nexuses, I guess he was assuming he didn't want to lose one of them.
Sure.
And only get in for 1 poison. Figures he can maybe get a Dispatch and get rid of the Geists and get the Signal Pest back, which he may actually already have a Dispatch and may, you know, just no reason to do it once the Signal Pest is already tapped during his turn. You know, wait until the end of Nolan's turn in case he needs to use it on something else.
Sure.
He can dispatch here and then untap during his untap step. So Geist of St. Traft for Nolen after Delver gets in for 3.
That's an acceptable card.
And
no Michael Belfatto, you may not
he tried to untap,
Pest.
so he did not have the dispatch there. At least didn't attempt to dispatch it. Someone asked on Twitter whether Nolen made a spirit token with Moorland Haunt off of a Delver that got dispatched. No, he made a spirit token off of the Delver that got Thought Scoured into the graveyard. He Snapcaster Thought Scoured Delver into the graveyard and then made a spirit. I'm pretty sure that's what you're thinking of. I hope I'm talking about the same point in time. Of course, we're not watching that match or that point live, so I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm...
Feline Longmore on Twitter asks why Nolen Loren did not use Dungeon Geists to tap down an Ink Moth Nexus rather than the Signal Pest. And I'm pretty sure that Dungeon Geist is creature only. So So that would
exactly
be the explanation.
It's creature only, so he couldn't tap down the Inkmoth Nexuses because they weren't creatures at the time.
Right. So we have 2.5 minutes left here in round 7 of the StarCityGames.com Standard Open here in Cincinnati, by which I mean Sharonville.
Yeah, I know you said Sharonville
Ohio.
before, and I'm like, what do you mean Cincinnati? Oh, we're actually in Sharonville.
We're in Sharonville, where we're watching a kind of odd game, I gotta say.
Yeah, I love it though. It's kind of cool because it's going back and forth where it looks like Belfatto's getting so much bad luck, and then he draws double Inkmoth Nexus and goes with that plan, and then Nolen finally gets back into the game with a timely Dungeon Geist, which, you know, if you're going to draw a timely reinforcement, I'd like it to be Dungeon Geist.
Yes. Ricky Hayashi would be proud. So
I try. It's all for
Nolen
Ricky.
goes for the throat here with...
without playing Go for the Throat.
No. Dungeon Geist, Geist of St. Traft, Insectile Abomination, or Aberration, and the Angel Token. He's got a buttload of mana up.
Yeah, basically what he sees here is he can... Well, how much would he do here? That would be everything,
it would be
right?
5, 8, 12. It would be enough to put Michael Belfatto on 1.
Yeah, so I wonder, that kind of... Does he have a Vapor Snag? Oh, they have a 5 extra minutes because they're under camera. Good point. Thanks, Jesse. They do have 5 extra minutes. But that's another thing. I wonder if he has a Vapor Snag to do that last point of damage.
He does, actually.
So that might be exactly what his plan is here. Get him to 12, or offer up situations where I'm not get him to 12. Hit him for 12.
Yep.
Hit him for as much as possible, or put him in a situation where he's losing his some of his force there.
Right. So
again, Michael tries to untap the Signal Pest and realizes he can't.
I kind of reach to the screen, slap his hand, and go, "Stop that!"
No, I'd be doing it too, because you're just habit. Every other game of Magic, you're untapping, and then suddenly, I can't. So,
and there's timely reinforcements from Michael Belfatto.
Now that is a nice timely reinforcement to draw there.
But Nolan Lauren does have Mana Leak. I think he has a Snapcaster.
If he goes Mana Leak, Snapcaster, Mana Leak, right?
Yeah, I mean that is a
he'd have to. Well, he'd play the Mana Leak. Michael pays, which theoretically he would do. Snapcaster, Mana Leak. Michael just has 1 chump blocker and probably dies next turn. So I think if he has Mana Leak, I'd play it here.
Yeah. So we see now.
If he has Snapcaster, he has to have the Snapcaster too, though, because.
Yep. Well, even just Mana Leaking it here puts.
So he has to pay.
Shuts off the Inkmoth Nexi, or Nexuses.
Where was the 3rd mana? Is there something off camera?
It was.
Find out, because he just tapped 2 lands for that Mana Leak.
Yep.
Unless he tapped another land that's off camera under his name.
Yep. So, if Nolan actually has, that's got to be a Snapcaster.
Okay, so there's a card there. Tell him, move it further in. Still don't know what that is, but. Okay, so he pays, and that resolves.
Sure. Now, actually, at this point, no. I mean, Michael Belfatto's just kind of cold here. If Nolan bounces the Signal Pest, Vapor Snags the Signal Pest. Or the
Signal Pest,
the
not attacking,
Vault Scourge. Now, Michael's at 12.
Yeah, I think you're right. I still think. Oh, never mind. He's at 12. I'm thinking. I'm doing the math for him at being at 6. I'm like, he's dead.
That was an incredibly timely reinforcement for her.
Yeah, I mean, both players have gotten a nice top deck at just the right time.
Yep. So we have those of you
who
may have
so there's Vapor Snag.
Yep, Vapor Snag sends Vault Scourge back.
Michael goes to 11. He's going to take 6. He's going to take 10 from Flyers, right? He doesn't have any blockers, any guys that can block Flyers, right?
Yep. So he's actually at 11 right now. If he has a way to deal 1 more damage.
Oh, Snapcaster Mage. Snapcaster Vapor Snag. Bounce to your thing. You go to 10. You're going to take 10 from Flyers right here because he's got Dungeon Geist.
Wow.
Insectile Aberration, and then the Angel Token that presumably comes in here.
Wow.
barring the end of the world right now or something. Angel token.
Nolen swings in and
takes 10.
GG?
Exactly. Whoa.
Wow.
That was a nice game. That whole match was weird.
Intense. I told you it was going to be a good game.
Yeah, that was.
I told you, didn't I?
It started off good, and then it got real weird in the middle,
Yeah.
and then both players got right back into it. And
Signal pests and Inkmoth nexuses.
Dungeon Geist